fucking middle finger up in this bitch. ATL, St. Louis, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, Bay Area, Miami, New York, Vegas, Texas. Y'all niggas can't go from my niggas home. 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 Motherfuck that nigga, motherfuck that bitch. 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 Y'all niggas more flexing that, flossing that.
Yeah, no, man. You already know exactly what time it is. We're back here to serve some more game on the ground from Hungry Hounds. Just got the pound and are ready for the next round. So with that being said, make sure y'all grab your snacks, your drinks, your weed, whatever the fuck the case may be. We finna jump right into this bitch, man. This episode that you guys can see, we're gonna be checking out the new interview from the top G himself. Yeah. So with that being said, make sure you grab your snacks, whatever it is that you want, your drink, whatever the fuck it is you want. I got some damn food, some damn grilled food, some fucking beef patties, and some damn hot dogs. With that being said, we finna jump into this bitch, and this motherfucker better get away. All right, so let me go ahead and pull this shit up real quick, man. Get this shit going for y'all. Boom. And boom. All righty. All right, we are already good to go. All right, so with that being said, man, we finna jump into this hoe. Let me go ahead and turn the playback speed up a little bit real quick. Boom. And boom, just like that. All right, let's get it, man. 3, 2, 1. Go.
And you ransack places very far away, like Iraq. And with this huge empire, I wonder what makes you want to still try and siege a city like Vienna, because Vienna in Austria is extremely far from Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia, but you're just Genghis Khan, aren't you? So you have all the land you could possibly ever have. You'll never see all the lands that you own. You can't even travel that far. You're way back there in Mongolia, and you've heard a message which has taken 4 months to come to you by horseback that you've reached a city called Vienna in Austria, and it's a walled city, and the Christians are going to try and defend it, and hundreds of thousands of men are going to die if you try to siege it. And you still say, fuck it, I want it. Why?
No, why?
Well, why? That's exactly the question. You're talking about the code in the matrix because you're talking about the crypto coin, you're talking about the court case, you're talking about the target on my head and all these things. It's a much deeper question than that. Why do some men do what they do? Why did Elon decide to put rockets in space instead of just retire? He was rich after PayPal. Why?
Yeah, that's fair.
Why did Alexander the Great need all that land? Why did men go to the Antarctic to try and cross the icy, barren, empty plains and freeze to death to just be the first men who did it? Why do that? You can't even put it on Facebook back then. Who gives a shit? Some men are built different, sir. Some men want to do it because it hasn't been done. And that is the reason why. They do not need much more motivation than the fact they will be first. There isn't much motivation to get on a rocket and be the first man on the moon, because the probability is you're going to die or get stuck up there and never make it back. Or even if you do go and you do come back, half the people on Earth won't believe you went at all. So why would you do that unless you're just that kind of guy? The fact that you will say to me, but it puts a target on your head, shows me that God will never, ever give you my position of influence, because along the way, you will have so many chances to be a pussy, which you will take, which will prevent you from ever getting to my echelon of capability and influence and power. Because if I gave a fuck about having a target on my head at all, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. And I wouldn't have the ability to do the things I can do.
That's fair.
So I don't care.
He said that's fair. That boy admitted to being a pussy, boy. That is crazy. He didn't even try to defend himself or nothing. He just straight up said, that's fair, man. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. I am a pussy. That is funny as hell. Boy, I would never let nobody talk to me like that. That is crazy.
I'm doing it because it must be done. There's an opportunity for it to be done, and I can do it better than anybody else.
But I could say this to you, is that there's a lot of things that you could do first. Doesn't necessarily make it right. Like you could be like the first person to kill 40 people in a presidential suite of a hotel room. It doesn't like make it right. I mean, like being first and right doesn't necessarily correlate.
Okay, but launching a crypto coin which is based on dignity and honor, I think it's pretty difficult to draw parallels.
Well, there's a weird analogy. There's a weird analogy. Okay,
I mean,
put me on the fucking spot.
Being a school shooter, I think that's a difficult analogy to draw. I mean, certain things. I mean,
but here's my question, I guess.
But walking across Antarctica, no one's done it.
Here's
so you
the
get to
question,
explore,
though,
right?
is like, but there have been influential people that have launched crypto coins and they've gone well. You're not the first person to do that.
Okay.
So the question is like, what? Like, I understand, okay, I'm doing it because I can, but there's a lot of things that you can do that you maybe don't necessarily do. So I'm just curious, like, I don't know. I'm just sort of like,
I would like to do a poll.
Okay, what's the poll?
Underneath this video.
Okay.
Am I making sense? Does nobody understand me?
I mean,
I just tried to explain.
You're making sense.
Let me start again. You're born on the fields of Mongolia, amongst the wheat. You learn to ride a horse. You learn to fight. Get your guys together. You go and start to conquer the lands near you. What you do is you marry your daughters off to the kings. So you go there and say, you get to still be king, but you're going to marry my daughters. You're part of my family, and I'm the real king.
So what's the psychology behind why Genghis Khan did it? Like, why does he want it?
Well,
Just because he
okay,
can?
so now you're asking me. But perhaps this is a philosophical question, which is too large even for the top G. Maybe some men are just built different. Perhaps, sir, if you want to keep it crypto specific, perhaps the entire world we live in was built by the unreasonable. Because men like you, who are scared of the target on their back and want to be reasonable, you're scared, and thinking, oh, maybe it's not worth it. Men like you, there's nothing wrong with people like you, but there's men like you and there's men like me. Men like you don't think, let's build a taller building. Let's sail the 7 seas. Let's explore the unseen land. Let's go conquer that tribe over there. But they're fierce. There's a target on our heads. They might kill us. They've never lost a war. Yeah, but we're built different. So we're going to go fight them anyway. The entire world was built by unreasonable people. The roads you drove here on and this nice hotel we're in was,
It is nice.
oh, there you go. It was built by unreasonable people. Satoshi Nakamoto himself, was he a reasonable person? Did he sit and go, we have Swift transfer and it's fine? Or do you think, you know what, this is a different paradigm? Why would I invent Bitcoin? Because I can. I see an opportunity. It could be done. It would change things. Some people just do things because they can be done. In fact, everything you enjoy about the modern world comes from that exact imperative, which is born inside of the masculine realm. That's what men do. Now, Satoshi had to disappear because they put a target on his head. But this is the only reason we're having a conversation in the first place. This is how the world works, right? Genghis Khan got a target on his head, no doubt about that. That's the way the world is. So if you're going to sit and say, why would you take risk to push a boundary because it puts a target on your head and there's risk? Well, then why did Christopher Columbus get on a boat? I don't know. You tell me. Maybe he should have just sat at home with his money, getting blowjobs, having butt sex, and no, have kids. Don't take any risks. Don't put a target on your head. Why do that? You could just have butt sex and stay home. You get plenty of money for butt sex. You could have got endless butt sex slaves. You just have butt sex like you do in LA. You could have sat around having a degenerate hedonistic life and nobody would fucking remember his name. Or perhaps he thought, fuck it. I'm going to risk my life and do something different. The target on my head doesn't cross my mind. I don't care because God's already decided what's going to happen to me. And I am simply one of his servants doing the best thing I can possibly do, which is doing my best to restore honor and faithfulness to a decaying society inside of a failing Western empire. So if I can financially incentivize young men to work hard, I believe God will favor me for doing that. And if I pay the price for doing that here in the physical realm and end up in a jail cell, I believe the karmic retributions are worth it. So I don't give a fuck.
He's not even lying, bro. Anytime that you try to do something crazy or do something that nobody's ever really done before, anytime you try to break that barrier, there's always going to be a target on your head to a degree, especially if it goes against the matrix and it goes against what they're trying to do. Then there's really going to be a target on your head. So it doesn't matter what it is that you're trying to do. Even if you just want to become famous, you want to become a rapper, you want to become a YouTuber, whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter because there's always going to be that target on your head because people are going to come after you, dropping hate comments, doing this, saying this and that about you. The only difference is who puts the target on your head. That's the only difference. No matter what you do in life, there's going to be a target on your head.
That is why. And if you don't understand that reasoning, then you don't also understand why Genghis Khan, worshiping whoever he worshipped, decided to set Vienna on fire. That's what some men just do.
Do you think you're going to go back to jail?
I've never thought about that.
Okay.
Which may sound strange to people.
Really?
Considering I'm in the middle of a court case. But I don't think it matters.
But you're prepared to go back to jail?
I'm prepared to go to jail, prepared not to go to jail, prepared to live, prepared to die, prepared to walk, prepared to swim. If I go to jail, I go to jail. But I don't. What am I supposed to do about it? I don't understand. I'm not a coward. I'm not going to run. If God decides I should go to jail, then I'll go to jail. It's fine. I've got a pillow. I've got a bed. What am I going to sit around and cry about it? I mean, my enemies want me to care, right? Because that's the process is to punishment. They want me to sit around worrying. Perhaps I'll go to jail. They want me concerned. They want me scared. But if I don't give a single fuck, then they can't really punish me, can they? I don't care. I mean, if you're suicidal, dying isn't a punishment. So if I'm not scared of jail, then go to jail is not a punishment. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm Andrew Tate in jail. I'm Andrew Tate outside of jail. I'm glad I'm me. I mean, I'm at the point now where we have the dichotomy of making me a legend by sending me to a jail or making me a legend by showing that you tried to set me up.
You're kind of in a win-win right there.
Oops. So they lose. I mean, I'm really not concerned. I'm built different. I mean, I will go to jail and I'll do my push-ups.
I don't think I'm in the position yet that Genghis Khan was in as far as power, influence, experience, level of life. But I think, I don't know. I think kind of to your takes, like it's parallel to some men are built different. It's like you do some things because you can. You get to a certain point. It's like, I can do this thing. He can't. You can't. They can. I'm going to do it because I can. I think there's elements of it that's like a test of your abilities. Like, can I do this thing? Somebody told you you can't. Somebody thinks that you can't. Like you said, They have a massive army. They have 100,000 Christians that are ready to fucking battle. You're not going to win this war. You're going to spread yourself too thin. Don't do it. Okay, well, you told me not to do it. I'm going to do it. So I think it's say what you were going to say, but I think I don't know. I think for myself, I haven't been there yet, but you get to a certain point where you do some things just because you can, and you can't.
But this is the beauty of God's creation, right? This is one of the most beautiful things about humanity and the universe as a whole, is that if you're not the kind of man who would do things just because they can do them, you'll never be put in a position where you're capable of doing them anyway.
Is that a good enough reason to do them?
But no, it's not about good enough reason. It's about the only reason you ended up in a position where you could do them is because you're the kind of person who would do them. The kind of people who wouldn't do them don't ever get in a position. That's the beautiful thing about life, because there's so many times along the way you could have chosen something else and you just never would have reached that pinnacle and level of power. Why do fighters win a world championship and then keep fighting afterwards? Well, they would never become world champion if they weren't the kind of person who will just continue to fight. That's how they are. So some men are just built different. I ask you a counter question, sir, because you seem confused by my motivations.
I wouldn't say confused.
Wouldn't
curious.
Okay, but wouldn't it be more strange for me to be perhaps the only person on the planet who could do this in regards to clean up the crypto space? Because I'm the only person on the planet.
When you say clean up, what do you
build a coin based on the things it should be based on and make sure that people who get wealthy deserve to get wealthy?
Would you say Bitcoin already did that?
Perhaps, but to a degree, there's still some luck involved.
For sure. But
It's not based purely on hard work. I mean, I'm not shitting on Bitcoin.
your coin would have some luck involved, though, surely.
Not really. I'm telling everyone, join the school and increase your power level. There's no luck at all involved. Increase your power level. Go to work right now. Join university.com, $49, and follow the tutorial on how to increase your power level.
I'm a student.
Good. Smart man.
Huh?
So
Huh.
I ask you a counter question.
Okay, what do you got?
Considering on the
He just had to throw that in there. I used to say, yeah, come join the real world. Come join university. He's like, oh, I'm a student. Like, come on, bro. You over here. Like, he one of them people that would put themselves in your sight just to be seen by you, just so that they can make eye contact, so he can walk up to you and say hi. That's the type of person that he is.
perhaps the only person on the planet who could clean up the crypto space in this way, because I'm the only person on the planet with the largest educational platform in the world, monumental influence, not just influence, I have trust amongst my fans. There's a lot of people who people know, but don't trust them.
For sure.
People trust me because they know I'm not a piece of shit like everybody else. Plus the drive and vision and capability and finance and team to pull something like this off, to be in such a unique position and then think, I don't know, nah, and then just walk away. Wouldn't that be stranger? It's like being Indiana Jones, right? Because I'm in a very unique position. No other explorer can end up where I am. I'm Indiana Jones. I'm deep in a cave and there's a golden egg. And if I don't pick it up, nobody can. Only me. I'll pick it up and take it out to civilization, or I'll leave it undisturbed and no other explorer can ever get to it because they don't have the right ropes, they don't have the right experience, they ain't got the right hat. Why wouldn't I take that golden egg? I think it'd be much stranger for me to sit there and go, but if I take the golden egg, I'll owe taxes like a dumbass. And if I was the kind of person who would be saying things like that, I would have never got
To the golden egg in the first place.
in the first place. That's not how the world works. God knows exactly what he is doing. Karmic retribution is real, and he gives power to the people who he knows will use the power when they have the chance to use the power, above things as simple as getting in trouble. He gives power to people and puts them in positions where they sacrifice their lives for the good of humanity.
Here's a question for you.
So I'm not, just to finish my point, launching this coin, okay, I might get in trouble. I might owe some taxes. I might have a court case. I might go to jail. I'm not sacrificing my life. I mean, to you talk of me as if I'm brave. I don't see any bravery in it.
Do you think you're brave?
Well, I think I'm a brave person, absolutely. But you talk as if what I'm doing is ultimately brave and I'm taking a huge risk. We're in Romania, 6 hours drive away is the Ukrainian border, and there's men getting blown to fucking pieces by drones for nothing, for $200. So, with a coin? Fuck you.
All right, here's
I'm going to take the golden egg because I can. I want you to understand me because you didn't seem to understand me. I'm taking the golden egg because I can, because it's in front of me and I'm the only person who can fucking do it. So it's mine. I'm going to take it. And if there's consequences, I'm still the motherfucker who took the golden egg.
All right, here's the question. Rather than why take the golden egg, why take the golden egg now if you could have already taken it for months, years on end? That's my question. Is like,
because as I explore the earth,
because you could have taken, you saw that egg 3 years ago.
I explored,
You knew the
earth,
egg existed years ago.
As I explored,
and you
the
sat
earth,
there and you watched it, you did nothing.
there's lots of different eggs.
You stared at it, you looked at it, you analyzed it, but you didn't take
your
it
limited
for
mind,
years.
Your limited brain, you think there's only one egg.
You just stared at that fucking egg,
Do
man.
you think I've been doing nothing for the last 3 years?
I didn't say that. But that's the egg though.
I was getting other eggs. No, to you, it's the egg because you're a crypto dork. To me, there's other eggs, which are far more important.
Okay.
I have not been wasting the last 3 years, sir.
I didn't say you were.
Okay. And what's also very interesting is that on all my other explorations, on all the other eggs I have acquired on my journey throughout Earth, I've gained experience, which has made me an even better explorer, which will make me even better at conquering this golden egg. So if I hadn't gone to jail, I would be well known, but perhaps not as well known. And also, I would not have been able to prove to people at home that my soul is not for sale. If I'd never been to jail, people would doubt I'd sold my soul. But because I went to jail and I suffered so immensely, they know my soul is not for sale. So now they believe me when I say I'm not going to rug pull. So now I can take the golden egg of crypto easier.
But isn't Hunter Biden going to jail?
So you think he's going to jail?
I said, isn't he? Was a question.
Is he in jail?
No.
Okay. So let's believe it when he's in jail, shall we?
Sorry. It was a fair comment.
So as I explore the world, you're asking about one egg because you're focused on one thing, because you still think of crypto and you think of money and all this garbage. It doesn't mean anything to me. I'm interested in other things. I've been capturing other eggs, sir. I have a whole wall of eggs. That's why I'm the top G. That's how I answer your question. So you're saying, why haven't I done it sooner? I did it at a whim. I can tell you what I did that morning. I woke up, I pushed her off of me, and I pushed her off of me, and I got out of bed, and I had my coffee, and I got a cigar, and I went out to the garden, and I said to Tristan, let's talk shit at crypto Twitter. And he said, all right. So I started making videos. I remember the video. I was smoking a cigar, and the two girls were up by then, and they were both massaging my back.
The video.
And I was having the
You called us vermin.
coffee. Say again?
I said you called us vermin.
You are vermin. And I said to you, this will be
Takes
fun.
one to know one.
No. I said, this will be funny. And I smoked my cigar and I started. And then the journey begun. Very much like Indiana Jones saw a little cave opening. He thought, let's just have a quick look. Let's just see what's in the cave. Just pop my head in. This is interesting. And he started to walk deeper and deeper and deeper. And after a few days, he realized, there's a golden egg at the end of this. So now I'll continue. And that's how we ended up here. At the beginning, I just wanted to pop my head in the cave. But now I realize
Would you like what you saw in there?
Well, there's a golden egg to take. And I do have one space left on my egg wall. And if
one?
If you or anybody else at home is confused as to my motivations for why I'm doing what I'm doing, then I guess you're just not built the way I'm built. To me, it's extremely simple.
How did jail change you? It's a little off topic. We were talking about jail.
Part of me misses jail, you know?
Really? That's a crazy statement.
I would argue right now that Assange misses jail too. I was thinking about this because Assange just got out. I'd argue that he misses jail a lot. It's amazing how the human mind adapts to its surroundings. And okay, in some ways it's stressful, but there's no light without dark. In other ways, it's not very stressful. I mean, food arrives on time.
Mhm.
Bed's there.
Is it good?
No. No rent. I'm good at finding the good in things. I'm sure. I mean, I'm not that old. I'm sure before I die.
How old are you?
37.
Oh, you look good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the vaccine, I have quite a long while left. I'm sure I'll see the inside of a jail cell again.
Okay.
And this time
So you have thought about going back to jail?
well, this time I'll enjoy it a lot more. I think the possibility of me going is quite probable. I mean, I'm a very famous, well-known
Valid, yeah,
person,
valid.
and I have lots of money, and I'm going to be alive for another 40, 50 years. Will I see the inside of a jail cell even for just a day for some reason? Probably. But now that I've been once, I think I'd enjoy it a lot more because I understand it better. Just as we were talking about, once you get good at taking eggs, you can get better at other eggs. Now I've done Romanian jail. I'm sure I'd be very good at easier jails, like America or England. That'd be a very easy jail compared to what I've done.
Which you did.
But I mean, it was an experience, and that's what life is for. Lots of people are going through the world trying to get experiences, but they're so obsessed with getting the positive experiences that they never really experience life at all. People go through life and they say, I want to make money on a crypto coin, I want to get rich, and I want to buy a Lamborghini, and then I want to get a beautiful girlfriend, I want to go on a boat in Miami, and all this fucking positive, but there's no light without dark. You could do all of those things, and you'd still be miserable if you didn't experience the dark. If you have not experienced true misery and pain, you'll never ever be happy.
Mhm.
So if you're going through life as a
He ain't even lied about that part. It's hard to appreciate all the great things in life when you haven't struggled before. That's 100% facts. I mean, shit. Look at rich families. People who were born into rich families. People who were born with, $1 million trust fund or $2 million trust funds, or however big they have their fucking trust funds. They don't appreciate the money that they have because they never struggled for it. So they pretty much throw it off to the side like it's nothing to them. But then take it away from them, they're gonna start tripping once they realize that, damn, boy, I was lucky as hell when I had all this money, man. And then they will start to appreciate it a hell of a lot more. Then they're gonna start working to get back to having that much money in their bank, or they're going to be lazy because they've never done an ounce of work in their life, and they're just going to start living on the street because they don't want to work, because they're so used to not having to do anything because they never had to work in the first place to get all that money in their fucking bank. It's crazy, boy. You can't appreciate the good things without struggling through the bad shit.
man, and you're looking for experiences over comfort, which is what you should be doing, which is what the great explorers of the world have always done, because they weren't looking for comfort. Comfort's at home. Experiences out there.
Yeah.
All the sailors, all the warriors, they were looking for experiences.
Yeah.
So I love the negative experiences along with the positive experiences. I love jail because it's an experience. Is it a bad experience? Sure. But then my bedroom is beautiful once again, like it's never been before.
Oh, how was that first sleep back?
Well, but this is the point. Everyone's obsessed with the positive experiences. But nobody is chasing any kind of negative experience, which is why, I mean, I chose fighting, right?
Yeah.
But I believe every man should be choosing to do something which is extremely hard, which they hate, which sucks, because you don't appreciate life at all without it. The reason people are taking so many drugs, for example, because I'm fervently anti-drugs. I've never tried a drug in my life, never even tried weed. The reason people
Really?
never,
You never smoked a blunt?
never,
Wow.
never. The reason people chase higher highs all the time, and the reason they're constantly taking drugs and trying to fuck new pussy and drink more alcohol and chasing higher highs all the time is because they don't experience any lows.
Mhm.
So you always want higher high, but I promise you, the higher high is fine if you balance it with a little bit of low. If you bounce down there for a week and come back to where you were, you're good. Constantly chasing higher highs is hedonism, which ends in one place.
Mhm.
It always ends in a spiral, a downward spiral, right? And butt sex, like the whole city of LA.
You're obsessed with butt sex.
Well, hey, bro, it's your city. So you need to stay away from constantly chasing those things. You need to artificially manufacture some lows. I chose fighting because fighting will do that for you. It's hard. It's stressful. You're worried. You train all the time. You're exhausted. You win. You lose. You get hurt. You go hospital. There's a lot of negatives in it. But there's not enough negatives in men's lives today. But you're asking me about jail as if it's a good or bad thing, or if I'm worried about going back. But to me, all experiences are on an even level playing field. Whether it's a good experience or a bad experience, it doesn't matter. There's experiences, and then there's comfort. And it doesn't matter if you're a good experience or a bad experience. As long as you're on the experiences side, I'm happy for you. My father died, which was a negative experience, but you learn a lot from it. It was an experience. It was a period of life where I was learning and growing, as was jail, as was sitting in the Bugatti meeting, as was buying a jet, as will be conquering the crypto space, as will be getting fucking stabbed when he finally gets hold of me and I can't block it with my hand. That's life.
How long ago did your father die?
8 years.
8 years. And what were you doing? Like, and where were you in life?
He said, he don't miss. That's a fact. Makes me feel like a lazy goof every time I listen to him, even with the work ethic I have now. I level up every time I listen to him. Man, he makes you just want to fucking get up and do what you're supposed to do every single day, like 100 times more than what you did before. Like, it's crazy. And it's crazy how one person can make you feel like shit when you realize, because when you compare yourself to that one person, you realize that you are shit. When you look at the level that you're on compared to his level or anybody else's level that you look up to, you realize that the level that you're on ain't shit compared to the level that they're on. It's fucking crazy. And that's not even like putting them on a pedestal or fucking idol worshiping them and all that. It's just the real life truth. When you compare the levels between you and the person that motivates you or you look up to or whatever the case may be, you realize the level difference is fucking insane.
8 years ago.
I was here in Romania. I was in a hotel about to commentate on a fight show.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then an hour later, I commentated on the fight show.
What do you think your father would think of how Andrew Tate has evolved?
Well, I think he wouldn't be surprised at all because was built to be this way. And I was never built for all the positive, happy experiences of life. And he would know that I'm representing him the way I should be because people talk about him because of how fantastic I am. Nobody would talk about my dad if I wasn't me and I'm me and they want to know how I ended up being me. So they talk about my dad, which is why I'm going to live forever because my son is going to be doing the same thing. My son's going to be so fantastic. They're going to say, but he's Andrew Tate's son. That's why he's fantastic. And he's not going to be fantastic through positive experiences. Men only become good men through negativity. Women are actually the opposite. Men who have been through a lot of pain are very kind. I would argue that when I see a man who's been through a lot of shit, it makes you kinder. You don't want it to be put on anyone else. The biggest gangsters and killers and evil people sometimes can be the kindest. When women go through a lot of pain, they grow bitter and evil and mean. They don't grow kind. Men grow kind from pain. I think that the worst men on earth are the ones who haven't had enough pain. Those are the arrogant pieces of shit people. You're supposed to suffer as a man. You're born to suffer, which ties back into my whole crypto project. You're not supposed to get rich off a fucking stupid meme coin like that without doing any work. You're supposed to suffer. The whole reason God put men on this planet is to fucking suffer. And the best men are the ones who suffered the most. I wouldn't be top G if I didn't suffer more than anyone else. You're a better man than everyone else if your life was a fucking mess and it was a hardship, because you're not what happens to you. You are how you react to it. And the best men on earth are men who have had their parents die, their best friends betray them, their girl betray them, thrown in jail, their money stolen, stabbed, robbed. And every time something happened to them, they sat there and they looked in the mirror and said, what can I learn from this? How can I stop this happening? Those are the best men. Those are the men respect. Those are the men women want. Why do women love scars? Look, they tried to kill him and they can't. That's why I want him. The best men suffered. You find a man who's never been through suffering and nobody gives a shit about him. Men don't like him and women don't like him. Men are no good without it. So you're asking about jail, and the reason I'm struggling to answer the question is because jail is an experience, and all experiences are involved in the tapestry required for me to become the best possible version of myself. If I go to Rahova jail, the hardest jail in Europe, for the next 10 years and sit and suffer in a room with cockroaches, I would argue at the age of 60, I might be a better version of myself than if I don't go. So part of me may not want to go, but part of me is perfectly fucking prepared to go. Put me in that fucking room, because there will be a version of me that exists in the future when it's all over and done, where I'm better than the version of me would be if I did not go. So I'm unafraid of it. I don't care.
You have a son?
I have a few children.
What? You're not very public with your kids, are you?
They're targets.
Interesting. At some point it's unavoidable, or is that not true?
I mean, perhaps in the inevitabilities of life, lots of things are unavoidable, but that does not mean you accelerate their coming. I mean, perhaps you got the vaccine, fine, but we're all going to die. Would you commit suicide today?
No.
All right, so people will find out who my kids are. Do I have to say who they are today?
No.
So that was a logic fail, sir.
That was more so a curiosity.
It was a logic fail.
How do you protect them from that?
By not answering your
inevitability?
questions. I don't know who you are. I don't know who's watching this, but I have to be very careful with my children because they are children.
Yeah, I think that's a fair take.
Yeah.
Going back to the crypto thing is
He ain't even lying. This dude, you can tell this dude keeps getting butthurt by the way Andrew answers his fucking questions and shit. It's funny as hell, honestly, because he's like, you can tell he's trying to bait him into answering a question that would get him fucked up, and Andrew keeps not falling for it. And it's funny as hell. The look on the dude's face whenever he gives him that answer, he's like, man, he ain't fall for it again. He thinks he's slick.
on the celebrity. Actually, I have a couple things, but we didn't even talk about this. Is you sort of showed up like 2 months ago to crypto, and a lot of people think
I've been in crypto forever.
So let me finish the question. Is you showed up and pivoted like pretty hard Twitter content, what you're talking about, podcast interviews, to crypto, and a lot of people think like Andrew Tate showed up with, you know, Sexy Red and Jason Derulo, and you're just like another one of them. But I'm aware, and I think some people, but not most, aren't aware of like your extensive history in crypto. And I'm kind of curious, like, for as much as you want to share, like when, how, and like why did you get into crypto?
I think it was the first bull run. I can't remember if it was 2016. When did Bitcoin first go to 20,000? Was that 2016?
I feel like 2016, 2017.
Yeah, that bull run. I was in at 3,000 then. And then there was the COVID crash where it went back down to 4,000. And I put a public tweet out saying I'm buying 500,000 at that price.
Really?
Yeah, that's all on my old Twitter. You can see it. And then I've been in crypto for a while. I've been in Ethereum since $200. I made the most money on PancakeSwap.
That's crazy.
I was in
People don't know that. Like, why don't you like just talk about
I was
that?
in PancakeSwap at like 50 cents.
Why don't you talk about it?
And there was a time when I was printing like $500,000 every 3 or 4 days from
That's insane.
PancakeSwap. And I was sitting around saying, this is not real.
This is not real.
This is ridiculous. And they went up to $30, $40 something before I sold. Or maybe I sold at $18. I can't remember exactly. I sold a bunch of it. But I didn't talk about crypto because I didn't believe there was any lessons in it for people. And also, once again, I feel like I have massive responsibility. And I didn't want to say to people at home, hey, kids, I'm a millionaire. My life's great. I bought a coin.
Yeah.
I think that's very irresponsible. Now, there's lots of dickhead celebrities who'll do that. But I think that's one of the worst, most destructive things you can do to a young man is to tell him the only way to get out of the matrix is to gamble. Because it's gambling. There's so many coins launched every day. It's effectively a gamble. You have to win the lottery. I think that it's much better to tell them that it needs to be hard work and et cetera, which is why I'm doing the project I'm doing now, because hard work is linked to it. I'm going to make sure that hard work is involved in the coin, because I refuse to tell people just buy it, you'll just make money easy. No, you're going to work hard. You're going to increase your power level inside the school. But some celebrities don't think that way and they don't care, I guess. But me, I think one of the most destructive things I could do on my ascent was tell everybody that I make endless money with no fucking work. Now, I could say that I made a lot of money on Pancake because I already had $500,000 or $1 million laying around. I already had $1 million, $2 million I could waste. So yeah, I could have argued that point, but I just didn't think it was a constructive thing to do. I actually find it quite interesting how crypto people think, because I see crypto people when people ask them about crypto and I don't understand the way they answer. I've seen people who are like Bitcoin maxis and someone come up to me and say, should I buy Bitcoin? And they'll be like, yeah, yes, you need to buy Bitcoin because the Federal Reserve prints money and it's all a scam and it's a deflationary asset and there's only gonna be 21 million of them and their mining's gonna stop. And they start talking, trying to sell Bitcoin. And I don't get it.
Yeah.
But when someone comes up to me and says, Andrew, should I buy crypto? If you want.
Yeah.
I've never been that guy to sit there and try and convince. I don't give a fuck if you get rich or not. I don't give a fuck where you put your dick. I mean, it's not my business. Andrew, should I buy? People are coming up to me. Should I buy Pancake? If you want.
If you want.
But will I make money? Maybe you might lose it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you make money? I made money. Yeah, I made a bunch. But look, do the fuck whatever. I've never been the guy trying to pitch crypto to anybody anyway, which I find weird about the crypto community. Actually, we can psychoanalyze that.
Okay,
I think it's just canned excitement. I think they're just excited for the possibilities of what could be. Everyone wants Bitcoin at $1 million, and it isn't happening. It's going down, and they're just.
You don't think it'll happen?
Well, I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm saying it isn't happening currently.
Fair.
And they have this canned excitement, and they're just taking that potential energy, and instead of putting it into something positive, like going to the gym or starting another business, so they can make fiat currency to buy as much Bitcoin as possible, they take that energy and just direct it at anyone who will listen to them about Bitcoin. I guess they feel like they're helping in some way. Perhaps one more person will buy. Perhaps the price will go up. It's pretty gay. But people are gay. I mean, people don't sit and analyze themselves. I would argue that there's not a single Bitcoin maxi who sat there and thought, why the fuck did I just convince that old Chinese lady with no money that Bitcoin mattered? Why the fuck did I even waste 2 hours of my time?
Yeah.
Why did I do that?
Yeah.
Like, I've never been that guy. So even when I was in crypto making endless money, people come to me going, hey, I heard you know about crypto. No, don't know any. Not me.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Don't talk to me.
Because if you lose, you're going to cry to me. If I tell you to buy something and it goes down, you cry to me. If it goes up, you keep the money. Why the fuck am I talking to you for? So I've never been that guy. If you're saying to me, why didn't I tell anyone? Tell who?
Yeah.
Tell why. Plus, another point, which ties back into something I said earlier. In case you haven't noticed by now, I like to use circles.
Yeah, you're good. You do.
I like to always tie back into things I said earlier.
You're pretty good at it.
Well, I lay foundations for conversations at the
Yeah.
beginning, so I can always reference them back. I said to you at the beginning of this conversation, if I had $1 million in a briefcase, I'd be concerned about someone killing me,
Mhm.
right? If I was making $500,000 every few days from some fucking clicks on a pancake website,
You're concerned. What's the catch?
who the fuck am I telling? You think I'm dumb? I mean, it's done now. It's done now. But you think I'm making that money and I'm going, hey guys, hey, look, I'm not from LA. I'm not a fucking dumbass. I didn't tell nobody. No, I'm from a different world. I'm from the world where people would sit around in dark rooms with no money and bright ideas. And you'd see someone post a new watch on his Instagram and you'd say, we know what he's wearing and we know what club he's in. That's from my world. I'm not the guy who's running around telling people how I make money. Things are a bit different now.
You do post your money though.
Well,
your
no,
cars,
people
your
know
house.
I have money.
Yeah.
But to this day, most people can't name how I have money.
How you have money, yeah.
And they know I have the school because I have to advertise it. But they don't know if I own the school or if I work for the school or I'm a marketer for the school or how the school works or the internal workings of the school.
Yeah.
Nobody knows if I have a property portfolio. Nobody knows anything. I'm not that guy because I've been in that room where where those people have got inside of that Astra and gone and sat outside that club and took that Rolex.
Yeah.
I'm not the dude who's going to be sitting around telling people how I'm making $500,000 every 3 days on a stupid cartoon fucking website.
Yeah.
I think I'd be a dumbass if I was.
So I have a double for you that I think is important. The first is like,
Nah, he was speaking facts, boy. Too many people like to sit around and flex what they have on social media so they can get attention and shit, this, that, and the third. And every time they do that, they raise the they paint the bigger target on themselves, because not only is the Matrix going to be coming after them, but now envious and jealous people who don't have that, who want it but aren't willing to work for it, now they're going to start looking at you saying, how can I take this from him? How can I do this? How can I do that? That's why it's always retarded whenever you flex everything that you have on social media. Social media these days has become like a show and tell. Everybody wants to show and tell, show what they have and tell how they got it, and tell where they're at, show everybody where they're at, what they're driving in, what they're eating, what they're doing, this, that, the third, sharing their location all over the place. That's how Julio Fulio, goofy ass, died, because he shared his location. He was showing and telling what he was doing, and his ops pulled up on him because they was mad as hell because of what he did, what he was talking about in his songs, and they pulled up on him and they killed him. And that's what happens when you show and tell on social media. And people still to this day don't fucking understand that concept, and it's really goofy as hell. And I never understood it.
Explain to me the psychology of like an 18-year-old kid who threw $1,000 into some meme coin, like made $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. Like, what does that do to you psychologically?
Oh yeah, he's fucked. That's the worst thing that could possibly happen to an 18-year-old kid.
Can you fix it?
Well, only if you make him understand how important hard work is.
Yeah.
I mean, the best way to fix it is to grab him by his throat, right? And to beat the shit out of him so he learns that his money doesn't actually matter in the real world, because the real world is violence. Beat the fuck out of him, he'll start thinking, shit, I need to fight. Now I need to protect myself. Now I feel vulnerable, I feel anxious, I feel afraid, I need to go to the gym, I need to train. That would fix him. Someone needs to kick the shit out of him. So that's the first thing that should happen, because that's the real world. Problem is, if you have that kind of money when you're young, you're never going to want to work hard ever again. If you've ever worked hard ever at all, you're never going to end up with a real job, right? You just made $3 million from the sky. You think anyone can tempt you with a wage or a salary or delayed gratification of going and studying in school and getting a 3-year degree so that later on you can get a $100,000 a year job? Never. All you're going to do is continue to gamble and hope you're going to pull it off again. So you become a gambling addict, firstly. Secondly, you're going to try and get everything through money. Because you're 18, you lack experience with simple things. Let's take women, right? He's never got women when he's broke. The men with money who were once broke and had women when broke are good with women with money.
Yeah.
But the men with money who never got girls when they were broke are fucking fish, and they get fished. It's like they get wheeled in and wrecked. 18-year-olds can be chasing pussy because he's got money now, but he has nothing else a woman actually wants and no experience. So she's going to be fleecing him left, right, and center. He's also a robbery target. I've been in rooms. Motherfucker sitting there with no money, bright ideas. I've been sitting there. They'll see his watch and they'll see what club he's in. So he's a robbery target now on top of it all.
Yeah.
He's not security conscious because he's never been in those rooms. He's never seen it from either side. So that's the worst thing that can happen to a young man. He's skipping all the struggle, all the pain and suffering he's going to attempt to skip with money. He's going to end up suffering more in the end, but he's going to just lose. I think that getting rich when you're young as a man is probably one of the worst things that can happen.
Damn.
You don't want to get rich to your late 20s. You want to spend all your 20s broke,
Grinding.
grinding, training, making girls like you for who you are and your fucking backpack. being funny, being interesting. That's what you need to do. I spent my 20s winning world title fights and living in girls' houses they were fucking cooking for me. I didn't have any money.
Yeah.
That's how I grew up.
Yeah.
If I had money at 18, 19, I would have skipped so many experiences and so many hard lessons. I'd be a fraction of the man I am today. So I don't like the idea of kids just gambling and getting lucky.
Yeah.
Now, of course, that's an anomaly because the majority of kids gamble and lose.
Yeah, of course.
They gamble and lose. So then you have to analyze why are kids gambling on meme coins in the first place? And the reason for that is because the matrix is now so broken.
Yeah.
Our fiat currency system has become so corrupted.
Feels like the only way out.
It's the only way out. So you're saying to these young kids, well, you can gamble on a shit coin and have a very low probability of getting some money. Or you can go to school and get in debt and get $100,000 a year job and be poor forever and be stuck inside the matrix. And then you're going to have to go to a job where you have to call a man a woman, and you're going to have to wear a pride flag t-shirt, or you're going to lose your job. Or you're going to have to get 15 COVID injections, you're going to lose your job, and you're going to become a slave. So they're going to sit there and go, well, I don't want to be a slave to the matrix. My only chance is to gamble. And another reason I have to gamble is because of social media. Because all the women I'm trying to DM, all the bitches I want to fuck are on boats. I ain't got a boat. They're in Lambos. I ain't got a Lambo. That girl's 18 years old. I'm 18. She's on a billionaire's boat.
What am I going to do?
What am I doing here?
Yeah.
And that's actually the beauty of the chessboard. You look at the game of chess. The king moves one square at a time. The queen just zips across the board. That's what women do. I know women through their affiliation with me.
He says the same thing on the chessboard. The king moves one square at a time, and the queen zips all around the fucking board. That is crazy, bro. I never even thought about it like that. That's wild. He ain't even lying, boy.
Cars, or they go to beautiful places. They fly on private jets. The chance of them achieving those things off their own back and intellect is fucking zero. Meet the right guy. Done. As a man, you can't just meet the right person. Here. Doesn't work that way.
Unless you're doing butt sex.
Well, maybe not.
I'm asking you the second part. Malcolm, you want to pull up a chair and jump on before we wrap? I do want to ask you the second part though, because I know a lot of people in this situation now from crypto, and it's like you made money for the first time. You launched some coin, whatever. You bought some coin early, participated in some project early, had some early information. You made a couple $1 million. You never had money before. You don't really know how to move with money. How do you keep it?
Okay.
Like to the 18-year-old kid listening to this, who just made $1 million for the first time. How do you keep it?
Absolutely. I'll explain that. The only thing you own is your soul and who you are. So firstly, I have an organization called The War Room, which is a global brotherhood. We have 4,000 members. So I'm going to tell everybody the answer. The answer is to join The War Room as soon as you make any kind of money, because The War Room is all about self-improvement. So the first thing you should do when you make money, especially that young, is invest in yourself. The War Room is one avenue, but you should get a speaking coach and you should get a personal trainer. And
speaking coach.
You should learn how to talk and articulate your ideas.
Yeah, I like that.
You should learn how to speak.
Nobody really says that.
Well, but if you can't make people understand why you think what you think, how can you get along in the world?
Yeah.
You should be able to think of an idea and succinctly and compendiously explain it to people so they sit there and say, yes, I agree with him. You should get a fight coach. You should learn to fight. You can go to a racetrack, be a race car driver, learn how to race. You should improve yourself. You should sit and say, what skills can I learn that I can carry with me? I mean, if you get good at basketball, you need a basket and a ball.
Of course.
But if you get good at fighting, you have it. If you're good at speaking, you have it. So you should sit there and make a list of all the things that you'll always have with you, and you should upgrade your character. You understand in video games to upgrade your character. You'll see that some levels cannot be beaten unless you upgrade your character. No matter how good you are, you have to level up your character to beat the game. Well, the levels of life are the same. You're not going to survive Romanian jail if you don't level up your character. You're going to end up preyed upon. So you have to upgrade your character. So if you get money young, that's a massive bonus if you have the right mentality, if your mentality is self-improvement. Now, if your mentality isn't self-improvement, if your mentality is what most of these people's mentalities is, which is arrogance, they didn't get it through luck. They got it because they're smart. They're so smart. They're smarter than everyone else. And they got it because they're so intelligent, and they'll be able to do it again. And God loves them and they're great. Well, then you're going to see across the next 10 years how much God doesn't love you. When the only woman who will suck your dick eventually ends up cheating on you with your best fucking friend because you're a dork with money, then you're going to see that nobody actually gives a shit about you, and you're going to learn the hard way. If you remove the arrogance from your heart and understand you're not special, you made money the easiest possible way in one of the cultures or one of the periods of human history where it's easy as possible to make money. It's never been easier.
Yeah.
Making money in the 1980s.
How long does this last?
Well, exactly. But it's never been easier.
Yeah.
You're not a genius. You're not God. You're a dumbass who got in early on a coin with pure luck and gambling. Now you need to improve yourself and upgrade your character before you meet real tests in life, because they're coming. Now, if you're too arrogant to do that, then you deserve what's going to happen to you.
All right, let me ask you this, and I'll throw it to you, Malcolm.
Sorry to interrupt, but you asked me how can they can keep the money, and this is the final point. If they upgrade their character, they won't need to keep the money because they'll be able to make.
They'll be able to run back. That's actually a great take. I'm gonna clip that.
Whereas if they don't upgrade their character, they're going to be stuck in their bedroom jerking off the Pornhub and gambling on meme coins for the rest of their lives.
Because they took it. They did take it all from you. You could run it back.
Oh, you can't take everything from me unless you kill me. I'm Andrew Tate.
Let me ask you this. It's like pretty obvious in crypto and society at large. We're like really rapidly going towards this hyper gambling, just full blown as degenerate as it could get, right? You look at sports, every second commercial is DraftKings or FanDuel. They fund all the advertising, they fund the arenas, they fund the games. You look even prediction markets. People are betting on everything every second, all times. Every 16-year-old kid is buying meme coins, buying shit coins, gambling in crypto. Like, is it going to just go further and further and further down this like degeneracy gambling rabbit hole? And secondly, like what does that mean for the future of society?
Very interesting question, because the Western world now, the matrix is so broken, as we just described, that most young men believe their only way out is to gamble. When you gamble, whether you win or lose, you create no value. That's also one of the very interesting things we were talking earlier about. If you make money from crypto, you learn no lessons along the way. That is true. But also another thing you do is you create no value. If I become a multimillionaire with a traditional business, I need staff. I feed people's families. I need a big building. I hire builders to come and build it. Now that big building's in that town, it needs more houses around the building, around my factory. We build more houses. I improve the town. We need to build new roads for the town, maybe a school for the town, maybe expand the hospital because my big factory is there, et cetera, et cetera. I have a positive influence on the society, on the nation, and on the families I feed. If you make a couple $1 million off a crypto coin, you've helped nobody. You've helped no one. You've fed no one. You've done nothing good for fucking anyone. You've just robbed a bunch of people of exit liquidity. That is it. You've done nothing good at all. And people do that and they think there's no karmic retribution, which is wrong. I actually have a charity, TakePledge.com, which is the most efficient charity on earth because 100% of the money goes directly to the house. Yes, because when I got rich, I tried to dedicate money to charities and I realized that they're all fucking
They all
thieves.
suck, right?
They're all thieves. So I started my own. So if I'm going to give money in Yemen, I'll take a guy, send him to Yemen with a bunch of money. That's it. A flight, a hotel, and money. Buy food. Whereas all these other charities manage to get 15% of the money to the people somehow. It's a scam. So I have my own charity, TakePledge.com. I put up the links, the crypto links, when I was doing the RNT.
That's all, yeah.
And people dedicate a couple $100,000, which is nice. It's fine. But I put $20 million of my own money in every single year.
Really?
Yeah, completely. It's all audited. But I do that to allow people karmic retribution. You're making money from crypto. You're making money doing nothing. You haven't benefited anybody. How about you give some eyesight to some kid in Gambia? You've made money. You've helped no one. Give some kid in Gambia their eyes back. And they sit there and they go back to meme coins. Pieces of shit people. This is the problem with the whole fucking space. Because they're helping absolutely nobody, right? But there's going to be karmic retribution for that. They're going to suffer the price of that, I believe. But that's the problem with the crypto space. Unless someone would come along where you had to do real things in the real world and dedicate yourselves to earn tokens inside of an airdrop. And perhaps you could benefit humanity at large. Perhaps. I don't know.
I love it. Malcolm, good to have you on too.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Question for you. Now that you're spending more time with the crypto community, are there any redeeming qualities that you've noticed or themes amongst the young men and women in the space that you'd see as admirable or positive? Obviously, they're taking a semi-untraditional path, right? They're not just going to work for consulting or sales or investment banking. They're trying to make it work for them. They're trying to make money. They're taking this alternative path. They're internet native. Do you like anything about these crypto people? Or
Firstly, I don't blame them, by the way. I mean, I don't blame them for gambling. When I'm describing the problems with gambling, whether you win or lose, those problems are an objective fact. As we were talking about Hitler wearing shoes, it's an objective fact. He wore shoes.
You love that.
I go back always because because I'm so perspicacious, I knew where this conversation would go. So I thought, let me come in and lay the foundations I can always reference back to because I know what he's going to ask and I can see the future. I'm a genius. I've been around. The point is, I've been around. The point is, I don't blame them for following the money. Crypto's where the money is. You'd have to be a dummy not to try. I mean, so of course, crypto's where the money is. That's fine. I think the mistake they make is that they believe it's all down to charts and luck, and that it's not down to any degree of karmic retribution or God's will. I would argue, with no scientific evidence whatsoever, that if you're sitting there trading meme coins and you do 500 push-ups a day, you'll make more money. Now, people will ask me how, why, and I'll say because God will like you more. And you may believe me or you don't believe me. That's up to you. But I would argue in between trading meme coins, if you did 500 push-ups a day and you avoided Pornhub.com and you drank water and you told your mother you loved her very much and you were nice to people and you didn't insult people you've never met on Twitter and you've been a good person, that you would make more money. That's my view. You can believe me or not believe me. It's up to you. But I think the problem with the culture is they think it's all down to just being an anon, being a snake, and jumping in and out of graphs and being on charts. And they don't think that this world has any magic to it. The world is based on things that nobody understands, including me. There's a reason why a car can crash and one man will die and one man will not. There's a reason why a plane crashes and someone dies and someone doesn't. There's a reason that none of us will understand. And there's karmic retribution in all things. So I think the crypto community has forgotten that. And they think they can just steal and lie and cheat. And there's no karmic retribution in any of this. So I'm not mad at them for trying to make money from crypto. I made a bunch of money with Pancake.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at them for being smart enough to see where the money is.
Yeah.
But they're too stupid to see that there's something real happening behind the code in the matrix. And that's the mistake they're making.
What is your take on anonymous influencers? Because you had an anonymous crypto alt.
Did I?
For sure.
I don't think
Allegedly, I've gone through it. It was sent to me that this is Andrew Tate's anonymous crypto alt.
Impossible.
I'll show you when we're done.
Show me now.
I got it phone somewhere over there. We'll find it. I have it on the Wayback Machine.
Show me.
Suspended.
Show me.
I'll show you.
I don't think I've had anon. I mean, everyone knew it was me.
Well, everyone knew it was you, but it wasn't.
It wasn't a crypto.
You didn't have it wasn't a crypto account, but it talked about crypto occasionally.
Oh, okay. Well, then
my bad.
Then that'll be one of my suspended accounts because I was banned on Twitter and I had to keep making new accounts.
Yeah. Okay.
But I never had an anonymous specific crypto alt.
Right. Valid. But anonymous account to talk about crypto. But regardless, now that we know it exists or existed, what is your take on like anonymous influencers?
Well, I think that there's obviously a massive degree of cowardice to that. They're afraid of repercussion, which they look at someone like me and what happens to me and they're afraid. I often, we can talk about crypto and anonymous and on crypto influencers. I guess the primary reasons they're afraid of being robbed or they're afraid of the government. That's one thing. But I actually find the funniest ones are the right-wing ones, the right-wing white power anti-migration ones. It's very funny because you have these anon accounts who are saying white power, we need to take Europe back, and Andrew, you're a fucking nigger, and then they insult me. I'm like, bro, you're too scared to even tweet with your face, and you're talking about going to war with the fucking Africans in your country. Yeah, you're such a pussy. You won't even tweet with your fucking name next to it, and you want to do something about the brothers on the corner? You don't stand a chance. They're the absolute cowards. I think anon is to a degree cowardice. So I always take what they say with a pinch of salt because they're showing from the beginning they're a coward, right? They're saying no matter what I say, no matter how intellectual it is, no matter how smart it is, no matter how true it is, I am also a pussy. So I'll read it and go, oh, that's true, but you're a pussy. Oh, that's smart, but you're a pussy.
Like a star
oh,
next to it.
yeah, there's a star next to it. You're a bitch. Yeah. So keep that in mind. And people are often very different when they don't have to put their name next to what they say. I mean, that's very easy to know. Everyone's a racist, tough guy when their name ain't there. Everyone's a big, strong, deport illegals when the name ain't there. Everyone's the biggest crypto genius and da-da-da-da. I think there's a massive red flag with that. I think that if people, I mean, in fact, isn't it a bragging point or a positive point inside of a crypto project to say that the dev's been doxxed?
Yeah, generally.
Of course.
Generally, yeah.
Because everyone knows
who he is.
Because everyone knows anons are snakes.
They'll put their face on it.
They're
Accountability.
pussies. Yeah, it's a liability. So when I see anon accounts say anything, and the only time I really interact with them is on this migration issue, I just know they're pussies. I tweeted something the other day that went super viral and pissed off all the white people.
What's the tweet?
I said that the white race is doomed. I said the white man is over. There's not going to be any white people left because you've been cucked by your women into only having 1 or 2 children. And all the other nationalities will have multiple kids with as many women as they want, or at least one will have 5, 6, 7 children. Your populations are declining in real time. You've got open borders and you're being replaced. And unless the white man does something and starts having children instantly, you're going to be replaced. And they all lost their minds and attacked me, called me a nigger, and said, we're going to kick everyone out of this country. We're going to do mass migration. We're going to close the border. The white man, the white man, the white man. Of course, nothing of that's ever happened. They all ran their mouths. And there's a bunch of anon accounts. And I sat there and said, you won't even put your name next to what you're saying. And I'm not insulting the white man. I'm part white. I'm just pointing out to you that your birth rates are collapsing in real time and you're being replaced in your own nations. The hill to die on throughout the largest period of human history was literally, and not just figuratively, literally defending your land from foreign invaders. And now you just invite them all in and they all just repopulate and live off your taxpayer money. And you sit there and go, oh, I don't have any kids. I'm not ready yet at 33. And then you meet one woman and have 1 kid and you think you're going to preserve a nation or a religion or an ideology. The white man's going to disappear and Christianity is going to disappear with it because no one's having any children. Don't be mad at me. I'm just pointing out the facts. Hitler wore shoes. What the fuck am I going to do about it? Don't fucking yell at me about it. Do something. And then they sit there with their anon accounts and call me racist names. But the fact that they're anon accounts in the first place proves I'm completely right because they are pussies. They're not even man enough to sit there and say, I'm 3,000 miles away and I think you're a nigger. No, they're scared for me to even know what they look like or know their real name, despite the fact that I'm trapped within Romania and they live in fucking America. They're cowards. That's what I think of anons. I think they're cowards. I don't give a shit about anything they say because they're all LARPers. Why would you be anon if you're not LARPing? If you're really the G, why not be the G?
Gee, that's interesting.
What are you hiding from? Because they're all rich, millionaire, Lambo, girls. What are you hiding from if you're really that guy? Oh, I just don't want clout. I want to be rich and not famous. Yeah, that's why you're tweeting. Shut the fuck up. Full of shit. You want to be that guy who wouldn't have an account at all. They're liars. Someone should grab them by their throats.
I've got a question about censorship.
Sure.
So,
It's funny because even the trolls, I guess you could put the trolls within the same, I guess you could say, what's the word I'm looking for? You can put the trolls in the same category as a non-people that he was talking about. They never have their face on a profile picture. They never have their name as their profile name. None of that stuff. They always have some bullshit. They always have some bullshit anime picture with some bullshit ass name, trolling people saying this and that and whatever the case may be. So yeah, man, it's crazy. Most of the people who are anons are usually the ones who talk the most behind a keyboard but won't say shit in real life. And that's wild when you think about it.
So I've heard you tell a story of like you waking up one day during your cancellation and like app by app, you're getting logged out of all your social media accounts.
Yep.
Of course, Elon has come back recently, bought Twitter. He reinstated your account and he's done that for many other people who are controversial. But Elon is not necessarily going to be the CEO of Twitter forever. It's likely that he will, be succeeded by somebody else or something will happen to him. And so what happens in that world? And second part of the question is like blockchains, a lot of the reasons why many people like them is because they're censorship resistant. So it's not a centralized database with the CEO. They can't just press a button and cancel people. So a lot of people in our sphere are like, decentralized social media, this is the future. There's not going to be censorship. What are your thoughts?
It's interesting because firstly, and this is going to be a controversial opinion, but I do understand why there is a degree of censorship. Have you ever been on the social medias with no censorship?
It's
It's a bloodbath.
crazy place.
It's nasty. Yeah. Yeah.
It's messy, bro. And you're never going to have the common person using them because it's just too much
It's
to
too
see. So you always need a degree of censorship. And then you go down the path of who decides how much, who decides what's right, who decides what's wrong. Then it becomes this gray area, which is very difficult to maintain. I think the only way out is through with these things. I like to think that even if I understand my accounts won't last forever, I can use them to wake up enough minds that when they eventually do cancel me, it can move enough people to a place where I can be found, as opposed to me just try to survive. I could come on Twitter and just be really meek and try not to get deleted. But I don't believe in that. I don't believe in appeasing the alligator because it's going to eat you one day. So I believe in coming out and swinging. Kill me then. So I'm going to come out swinging. And that's what happened when they deleted me from YouTube. I only had 600,000 subs on YouTube when they deleted me. And now I have 2 million on Rumble. So it made me bigger. So I also think that with this paradigm shift and the fact the pendulum has shifted, I think that getting canceled now is almost a badge of honor. And I think I was the first one to get canceled and get bigger from the cancellation. I said on one of my old podcasts with Patrick Bet-David, who's a great guy, I said, everyone's tired of cancellation and there's huge pressure behind the dam. And as soon as there's a crack in the dam, it's going to break. And the crack in the dam is going to be when somebody gets canceled and ends up bigger than they were before. And then nobody's going to be afraid of cancellation anymore. And everyone's going to start talking. They can't cancel everybody. I literally said those words. It happened to me exactly. And now even YouTube's allowing you to tell the truth about the vaccine, allowing you to tell the truth about election interference, because they simply couldn't ban every account. You can't do it. We strengthen numbers. So I don't want to take absolute credit, but I've certainly been a huge part of it. So I'm going to do my best to wake up enough people so that if they cancel me again, the same thing happens. I'll find somewhere to go and I can bring enough people with me. And then once again, they damage themselves. You have to be, to the Matrix, you have to be a poison pill. When you're a coward and you're afraid of retribution, you can't do much to damage a system which is so much more powerful than you. But if you're a poison pill, you can be. It's like being a poisonous toad. You don't stop them from eating you. They just suffer for doing it, right? I can't stop them canceling me, but it's going to damage their share price. And they're going to move a whole huge swath of the population to their competitor. I can't stop them putting me in jail, but I can show that the entire legal system's corrupt and it's all set up so nobody trusts the judges anymore. So you can eat me, but you'll pay a price. That's how you have to be. Now, if you're a coward and you're afraid of getting eaten, you can't do that. But if you're like, okay, you can eat me, but you're going to have a stomach ache. It's going to hurt. If you're that guy, you're okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not afraid of getting canceled because eventually they delete me. Everyone's going to say, the censorship's back. Fuck this place today. And they're going to suffer. So it's fine.
There's this interesting take from Charlotte Fang, who's the founder of Milady, an NFT project. And the take is something along the lines of, it's an article. It's The Cancel Will Inherit the Earth. And it basically says that at a certain, there's like a threshold at a certain point, there's more influential, interesting, powerful people that are canceled than not.
100%.
So staying on the side of not canceled, you actually lose out because the other side is more powerful.
Yeah, it's nothing at all then all at once. And I really believe I was one of the first people who to get canceled, who got bigger than ever. And now a bunch of other people have been canceled and haven't even disappeared. And they can't even get rid of me from these platforms. I'm still all over them. I mean, what's the cancellation done to me?
Do any of these people like thank you, like other canceled people? Like, do you have like, is there like
The group chat?
canceled? Yeah, it's like a group chat for the canceled.
I'm also very careful who I talk to. Like, I'm not too friendly with too many people.
Why is it? Publicly or at all?
I mean, publicly I can interact with somebody, but privately there's very few people I talk to because I don't know. That's a good question. Why do I not talk to many people? I have my mission. I'm Indiana Jones. I'm in the cave and I have the golden egg in front of me. I don't need to talk to people outside the cave. I'm busy.
But couldn't you like use some of these people to harness better ability to capture the golden eggs?
But I'm already there.
But you haven't grabbed it yet.
Not yet, but I'm inside the cave. They're far away.
You're inside the cave. But it might be a booby trap right when you grab it.
Perhaps. Good thing I'm built different. Hard to kill.
You ain't even lying, boy. There's so many people out there who are afraid to get canceled that won't do anything. They follow the fucking quote unquote rules and guidelines and this, that, and the third, and they'll get on their knees to keep from being canceled and all types of shit, boy. And it's just wild that how fast they'll sell out just to keep the fucking platform, how fast they'll sell out to keep their money, how fast they'll sell out to keep their freedom and this, that, and the third. So if you can imagine, if that's how fast they'll sell out for their quote unquote fame and their money and their image and this, that, and the third on social media, imagine how fast they'll sell out when the mark of the beast is here. And they're told, well, you have to take this mark, otherwise you can't live and you'll be thrown in jail or you'll die. Imagine how many people are going to sell out because they can't buy food, they can't sell, they can't trade, they can't work, they can't live in their home, they can't drive their car, they can't have their phone, they can't have none of this stuff, they can't have no money. Imagine how fast so many people will sell out for all that shit. It's wild, bro. It's crazy. But no, man, with that being said, I got some things that I got to take care of. So I appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. I'm going to go ahead and get this up off of here. Make sure y'all share with your friends, your families, members, aunties, or grannies, and everybody else y'all know. This is an amazing interview so far, man. Your boy never misses. Every time he's talking, he's always talking about something that's facts. And you can't convince me otherwise. And that's just how it is, bro. Some people are just built like that. And it's rare that you'll find people like that. But when you do, you better listen because they're going to give you some game. And you better pay attention to that game whenever they're giving it to you because they don't give it to just anybody. That's 100% facts. So let me go ahead and get this outro put up. We're going to get the hell up and out of here, man.
Hey, with the fun tour, going out here and all this shit all over fucking USA, and I'm done with all this shit. I'm cool off all this fucking talking shit. I got a whole team to represent. I don't want to do none of this. I never did want to do any of it. Fuck this nigga and fuck his team, bro. I'm out. I gotta go. Square up with yourself, motherfucker.